Okay, it never fails. You hear the weather report and it says there's going to be 13 inches of snow on the ground coming your way. And so you decide, who cares? I got a four-wheel drive. Not only that, a four-wheel drive Blazer. And of course, 2 days before the big snowstorm hits, the radiator goes out for no real apparent reason. It's leaking antifreeze like Niagara Falls. So here we are, putting a radiator in a 91 Jimmy. And it's not really a difficult job. This is part one of two because, well, birds. What's going on? It's like 20 degrees out here and I got like a bird fight going on out here. Anyway, it's not really a difficult job, and let's just kind of go over what we kind of need here to do it. Well, you need a screwdriver, and I also recommend one of these Harbor Freight screwdrivers because they have a 1/4 inch on one side and a 5/16 on the other side. There's the bits out of it, a pair of pliers in case you got one of them spring clamps that you have to deal with, a 3/8 to take the fan shroud off. You could use, I would say, use a ratchet on all of it except for one of the nuts. Luckily, underneath the truck, that you have to use only a wrench. You can't get a socket or anything in it. A 9/16 just because, well, I got it, and a 5/8, which I don't think you're really going to need either one of them unless you're taking a hose off. The wire ties are there to tie things out of the way when you're removing them. And of course, I recommend also having a regular standard tool kit because, well, you know, you always kind of need one. And get one that has all the stuff sorted out like this because, well, you don't have to go searching in your drawer of your toolbox trying to find let's say a 3/8 inch socket. It's right there, and it just kind of keeps it nice and easy and quick. This job needs to be quick because, well, it's what, 20 degrees out here. Anyway, we're going to get started on this, and we're going to start by removing this upper radiator hose. It still has that. That looks like a 3/8, and of course that'll be the 5/16. And then we'll remove the, already removed the lower radiator hose. You can't really see it, but it's off right now. So, and we got to take these two brackets off, and then we'll move this all back, wire tie it back, so that way we got the room to get it out. The service manual says you need to take the fan off and all this other stuff, which I can't really see the fan. But you know what? We're not going to do that because, well, we're lazy and it's cold out here. We're going to simply get these fan shroud bolts off, move this fan shroud back enough. This here should theoretically, and I say theoretically, simply lift out of there. So let's get started on that right now. Okay, and let's get the hoses loose. And we're going to need a 3/8 inch, I think. Let me look here. Let's see what size that. Oh, that's a 10. That is a 10. It's always nice when you got one of these. What we got going on? Is that a whole bunch of geese flying over? It sounds like a bunch of geese. Well, there you go. As you know, we're out here in the wild here, putting this. Get the thing on me. Put it up here and take a video of it. As we're working on the truck here. Must be heading towards, I live down by the Kansas River, so they're probably going to the Kansas River, I'm sure. Anyway, we're just going to take this bracket here off. It's a number 10. Yeah, it kind of helps you. A lot of people take these brackets off and they simply don't put them back on for some god-awful reason, and I find these keep it away from breaking the neck. Although these aluminum radiators have a pretty solid neck, some of them cheaper plastic ones, they'll just break it off. I just, over a period of time, the movement of the the motor and the hose. Anyway, we're gonna take this one here off, and here we go. It is here, luckily, is a screw type, not the spring type, so it's not going to be too difficult to get off. Let's see how hard this hose is to get. Oh, hey, that came right off. That's good. Okay, we'll just simply move this back out of the way. Okay, that there's going to be a 3/8. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's a 10. Oh, but a 10 works. Okay, so we'll use that. It's a little loose, but you know, we'll get it out of the way. If you guys kind of, here, let me take that camera. You guys kind of see what's going on here. This here has a little spacer on it because I put in a 3-core radiator about 7 years ago, and I found out that the original fins and stuff, or the core itself, is interfering with this, so I had to move this back about 1/4 of an inch, and that's about what that is, to keep it from hitting the radiator, because I don't want it to ground up against the radiator. And I had to file it down a little bit just to accommodate a little bit more clearance, because I just wanted a little bit more clearance. So anyway, here you go. And so that's what I did, so that way we could have a little bit of clearance. And there's a few other things I had to do when I put in this aluminum radiator. We'll talk about that. Let me get a regular screwdriver, because what we want to do is not lose my little spacer nut here. Not that I would, but you know, if you're going to lose it, you're going to lose it in all this snow here in the cold. And anyway, we'll go ahead and get that out. Ooh, yeah, okay, there it is. We'll set that back over here. And let's get the other bracket off. We're going over here. Here, let me get that again. As we're looking here, I had to get and file this down because you know, there's 2 different radiators for this, something I didn't realize. And when I bought this one here, of course I went the cheapest way, because that's what we do. But anyway, there's a 17-inch core and I think like a 19-inch core, if I remember right. But anyway, of course I got the cheap one, and it didn't really fit right. I had to, when you see me take this off, you'll see I put foam rubber and stuff under this to hold this in place, which works okay and does okay. But the new one I ordered is the correct one. This has the heavy duty cooling on it, heavy duty everything. And so I had to, what I didn't realize, it needed that there cut out right there. As you can see, I probably took a good 1/2 inch out of it, and used my grinder and use that to give me a little bit more room for the radiator cap. Otherwise, the radiator cap wouldn't turn on, and that would suck really bad. Anyway, so we got that in, and so let me go ahead and get started on taking that off right now. And it's just going to be the same. I've already taken the overflow hose off, which is over here. You got that? And the upper heater hose, which is over here, right there. I already took both of them off, just because, well, before I wasn't really going to film this, and I decided, why not go ahead and film it? You know, we're having a good time out here in the freezing cold. And so we're just going to take this off. Oh, there it comes. As you can see, the shroud just simply moves back. That there needs to come apart from each other a little bit. By the way, it's really incredibly cold out here. Let's get that out. So be aware of the plastic. Don't be forcing anything too much, because plastic will break and crack, and you don't want that. Okay, I need let's see, a 1/2 inch wrench to get You know, a lot of people use use a tubing wrench, but you know, there is no throw in this as far as if you look at all the room involved here, which there isn't none. So it's just easier just to just take an open end wrench, and be careful. Don't twist the line, whatever you do. If this line starts to come loose, the nut and it twisting that line, stop. Just stop right there and work on it back and forth a little bit to where it'll break loose and it won't twist that line. You twist the line, guess what? You're replacing transmission line, and you know, we got enough trouble as it is. Let's see what we can do here with this. Yeah, right. Baby's tight. Okay, here we go. Hey, okay. There's one. Okay. Are you getting any of this? Okay, there's it. It's back. Okay, and there's one down here. Can you see it at all? And we'll get it loose. Once again, no room for a tubing wrench. Yeah, right. Oh, it's tight too. Oh, really? Oh, okay. There we go. Now we got that one loose. And they really, after you break them loose, they seem to work off pretty easily. Oh gosh, that's in there. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to wire tie them, well, I guess to the air conditioning line there, just enough to get them out of the way, so that way they'll bite. See this pipe down here? Do you see the pipe? The lower radiator hose pipe needs to get around that when you pull this out, because you ain't got a lot of room to work with. Okay, so let me do that right now. And all we're doing here is moving all this stuff over a little bit, just to give us a little room. We got plenty of wire ties, so that's not a real issue. But we want to just get it to bend over, but not bend the pipe itself. That's the secret here. And we'll just do the same thing to this one here. Okay. Have a little trick. As you can see now, we have us a straight, see that the lower radiator hose will not interfere with the transmission cooler line, so that's good. Okay, we got this loose. Move that back. All we got left is a couple of these. They look to be what, 9/16, I think. I ain't too sure, but where'd it go? I'm losing it. There they are. And take both them off, and so we'll get started on that. Okay, here we go. Let's try 9/16. And that's too big. Half inch. All perfect. Okay. Let's get these tools off this here, because you know, as you know, they'll fall down into the snow. And that's what we're going to do right now. 4 bolts come off. Take that bracket off. I'll show you what I mean, what I did to space that up, so that way this radiator would fit. I was thinking, what the heck? How come this doesn't fit right? But assuming it's an aluminum one, thought it was a little different. Of course, now I know. Something I didn't know back then is that there are 2 different sizes. Why on earth, you know, GM did that? You know, it falls into, you know, why they do a lot of things. But anyway, here we go. We're going to take that one off. And okay. Okay, as you can see, I put a foam rubber in between to make up for, as you can see, it's quite a ways down. Can you focus in on how far down it is? And you don't need to come that close, but you just it's down quite a bit, and that's what the difference between the new one and the old one's going to be. And of course we'll do this side real fast. And it's not really a difficult job. It's not really a long job. It's just, you know, gosh darn, it's freezing cold, and it's a bummer job, as you know. Anyway, we'll go ahead and take this in here out. The radiator fell back, which is okay because it's a junk radiator. We don't really care. And it's going to go into the recycle pile because, you know, as much as they charge to fix these things versus how much a new one costs. Let's see here if I can get just a little bit more room out of that. Tighten that up a little bit. Give me a little something to grab hold on to. This thing's cold too, by the way. Something I ought to mention. And and there it is. There's the radiator out. We're all done with that. So our next problem is getting the new radiator in, which is supposed to arrive today. So this is the end of part one. As you can see, pretty straightforward, not much going on here. And we'll go ahead and finish up with part two on this whenever the radiator comes. And that's about all I have to talk about. You know, I could talk a little bit about these brake lines right here while I've got you guys occupied. You know, I had to replace the brake lines on one side because it broke. And you know what? They have kind of a round end on them rather than a double flare. And the only place that actually sells these lines is Napa. So don't go to O'Reilly's or don't go to AutoZone. Just go straight to Napa, because it takes a special kind of a line. There's the other one. You see the metal part, you see the rubber one, but the metal part is kind of a round end on it, which is kind of odd. Of course, GM can't make anything easy for anybody, and so that's just a little tip real quick. I had to replace them here back last summer. This here looks like I'm gonna have to get a little rag and clean that up a little bit before I put the new one in. As you can see, there's the antifreeze that was running out like Niagara Falls. And how's this guy? Oh yeah, he's good. Anyway, well, we'll be back with part two of this exciting video.